Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Anime Zing Radio. I'm your host, Doug Engler. Joining me in the co-host seat, as always, is our good friend, Mr. Darren Starling.
Hello.
Angela is on her way home from a D&D session, so she'll be joining us in a little bit. Hopefully she drives safe, and we look forward to having her join us later. We also want to thank our sponsors, Home Circle Media, for the latest and greatest in anime gear, everything from pens, pencils, stationery, and officially licensed art books. Be sure to check out homecirclemedia.com today or look for them at an upcoming convention near you. We're also brought to you tonight by Triple S Lawn Care if you're in the Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina area and you need quality lawn care at a great price. Reach out to Darren. He will hook you up with a great quote. Spots are limited and filling up fast as the warmer weather is approaching and grass is growing. So be sure to get a hold of him soon to make sure that you get on his rotation.
Yes, sir. I think we're almost into spring at this point. We shall see, because weird stuff has happened before in March.
Yeah. I mean, my phone is saying that it's still like 68 degrees outside right now.
Mm-hmm.
Up here in Pennsylvania, so.
Well, it's 67 here, so.
Good evening, John Knight. Great to see you. Tonight, our topic, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite anime characters and some of the reasons that we like them. And, some of them are going to be just favorite characters in general. I'm sure there'll be talk of waifus and husbandos, stuff of that nature. But in general, some of our favorite characters in anime throughout the years, not just this season or this year, but throughout the years. Yeah. Good night, Mook. Good, of course. Good night to the kiddo, and so it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I know, Darren, you're looking forward to some of the topics.
Of course.
And
I love talking about favorite characters.
People like the Red Panda from Conception.
Mm-hmm. No. No one in that show deserves to be even talked about.
No, not really. As we saw on Friday when I did my fun little MAL update, page update through the isekais, I gave that show a 1, the lowest ranking that you can on my anime list. That show was absolutely atrocious.
Yep, and the average ranking was about what I gave it, which was a 4. I either gave it a 3 or a 4. I don't remember. I'd have to look.
And of course, out there in the if you're tuning in the chat, share with us some of your favorite characters from anime. And like I said, it can be any year. It doesn't have to be a recent character. It can be from when you first got started into anime. I know we see lots of polls out there. Favorite characters, best girl, best guy, and things like that. And you usually see some of the similar top runners in every poll. But I think our list is going to be a little bit different with the characters that we like. And, like I said, it should be fun. Not sure exactly when Angela will be joining us, but she will be a part of the show tonight. And it'll be fun to hear who some of her favorite characters are. And I figure we'll just go round robin. Each of us will take turns giving the name of a character that we like. And we'll also try to give an explanation as to why we like certain characters. Whether it's personality, whether it's looks, whether it's whatever. And John Knight starting us off saying that his favorite anime character is Luffy in One Piece. So that's I've never seen One Piece. I know. I mean, everybody's heard of One Piece. but I've never seen any of it, so I can't comment. I don't know if you seen One Piece at all, Darren?
Nope.
So Darren can't really comment either. I think Angela only watched the live action. But Luffy, from what I have seen, it was a good character. What about you, Darren? Who first comes to mind when you think of favorite characters? Can be from recent, past, good shows, bad shows.
This different aspect. Whenever I think favorite character, I always jump to my waifu for obvious reasons. So Zenobia and Rias being the close second. But when you stopped and actually think about it, I actually have quite a few answers. I can't really name one in particular. Like there, aside from my waifus, there's no one really that sticks out to me as a quote unquote favorite character. It's kind of across the board with my answers.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, I have characters that, like I said, there's characters that I really like that I would not put into a waifu category. When you look at uh, character designs, you look at voice acting, whether it's Japanese voice acting or in our case English dub voice acting. I know there's multiple dubs out there. I listen to either English dub or the Japanese with subtitles, and sometimes the voice acting can make or break whether you like a character. I know for Angela, a lot of times it comes down to storylines, as whether or not she likes characters. And there's plenty of shows out there where the main character is not our favorite character of the show. A lot of times we like the side characters.
Yep. This, like, one of my favorite characters is actually the one that I'm using as a stand-in for my camera. He's not the main character of the series, but he's one of my favorites. And of course, I'm talking about Kumagawa right here.
Yeah.
If I were to cosplay, he would be one of the people I would entertain cosplaying.
And one of those cases for me of favorite characters, and I was talking with my wife earlier about, this character, and it's kind of what gave me the idea of, talking about our favorite characters tonight is, from the anime Frieren. I like Frieren the best. She's my favorite character from that show. And it's tough to give reasons why, because she's just so melancholy about everything. Like, her personality isn't good, it isn't bad. She's just there. I think the way that she tries to understand the people around her more after some of her life's experiences has made her endearing to me. Now, she's a cute character. Welcome, Angela.
Hello, everybody. How are you?
About to say you are aiming a little high there, ma'am.
There
we go. Anya riding the dragon has to just stay there at this point.
Yeah.
Yep.
We just started our talk about some of our favorite anime characters. Darren was talking about his camera pick up there as one of his favorite side characters. I started off talking about Frieren just because there's something about the main character, something about Frieren that I find endearing. She doesn't have like the greatest personality. She's very naive when it comes to the ways of the world. She's very knowledgeable, very experienced, and very nonchalant about the way she does things. But there's just a quality about her that I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were talking too, that sometimes our favorite characters don't fit into a waifu or husbando category. Frieren, I would not put it as a waifu. I just really like her character.
And John Knight in the chat says his favorite anime character is Luffy from One Piece.
Yeah.
yeah, I have characters I absolutely love. Um, I mean, there's a couple of the obvious ones. Yang from Ruby, Yor from Spy Family.
Boxo from Vending Machine.
Oh God, here we go. New.
About to
By the
say,
way,
Fred,
season 2 has been announced. Vending Machine season 2 is coming soon.
yep, surprise.
I'm just gonna shake my head and call it a day.
Okay,
Uh,
that's all for the show, people. Good night. We're done. Angela's broken.
no, not broken. Uh, but no, I. There are some really well. Mao Mao actually is up there as well.
Yeah.
Because Mao Mao, Apothecary Diaries as a whole, those characters are so well written and well developed over the course of however many episodes we're up to.
Um,
24 plus however many are in season 2 so far.
Uh, 10 episodes, so they're up to episode 34.
But would you agree that those characters are all extremely well developed?
They are. I would say I would almost argue and say the world of Apothecary Diaries is almost as interesting, intriguing, and well created as the DxD world, which I know Darren has talked about. The world building in that has been fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Mao Mao is another one of those characters that you wouldn't put in a waifu category, and you kind of forget, because I went back and rewatched season 1, and I forgot that at the start of Apothecary Diaries, she's 17. I always thought she was younger than that, just because she appears to be a lot younger.
She does that on purpose to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But
And she's another one. Her personality is not as stoic as Freerin, but a lot of times it's hard to read her. But when she gets excited, she turns into that adorable, like, little cat meme. And, like, she's just charming.
exactly.
What about you, Darren? What's another one of your favorite characters?
Same series. Like I said, I like Kumagawa for the fact that he's a side character but plays a major role in the series. He's a villain turn. He's basically like an antagonist turned protagonist as the series goes along. His personality is always that he always loses, even because he's considered the weakest, even though he's actually rather strong. It's always his self-doubt in himself at the end that causes him to lose. But also, same series, our main character, Madaka, one of the most robust, outgoing characters in anime, if you think about it, because she can take anything that's used against her, perfect it, and then use that ability to 100. I think it's either 110 or 120% of its original capability. So anything you do to her, she can do back to you at a greater power. And like I said, just her personality, she's always the problem solver. She meddles in everybody's affairs, mostly when requested. She's always the bigger person. She takes pride in settling problems. She's one of the strongest female characters in anime that I know of, honestly.
And John Knight in the chat is asking Angela for her favorite anime character.
Yeah, I've listed a few. I don't. If I had to pick one, that's a toss-up.
I don't know that I could pick a number one favorite anime character.
Same.
Yeah, I don't have a number one. I mean, if we're gonna go old school, another character I really I mean, Cowboy Bebop, that casting or that cast of characters, if you will. Faye, definitely up there on my list.
Yeah. If we're going a little bit old school, I mean, I know one of my early favorite was Mizore from Rosario Vampire. A very interesting character. Ice Queen or Frozen, Ice Girl, Frozen Girl, whatever you want to call her, the type of demon that she is. But
Soft-spoken.
yeah, very soft spoken, like sweet, shy, but deadly.
Mm-hmm. And
She's like the
mischievous.
epitome of SBD, silent but deadly. But she is, I always thought that she was a cute character. I thought Tia Ballard did a great job voicing her in the English dub. And a lot of longtime listeners of the show know that she has been a favorite of mine for many years. And it's funny because when we sit here and we try to think about some of our favorite characters, and then try to think about why they're our favorite characters, try to put a little analytics to, okay, I like this character, but what about them makes me like them over other characters of similar tropes, similar designs, even from the same show? What sets them apart?
I mean, I know for me personally, it's the whole badass female main characters that tend to be what I like.
On that note, I really think you'd enjoy Medaka Box, Angela, because that's exactly what Medaka is.
But that's like another character kind of in the same vein. Mikasa from Attack on Titan.
I know Mikasa had a lot of fans.
Mm-hmm. Ironic you say Mikasa, and then you also have Misaka from Railgun, who also has a significant following.
Yeah. Makoto Misaka, I've seen her in like waifu, like winning waifu polls and stuff like that. I've always liked her. I thought she was a fun character. She's one of those ones that tries to put on a hard exterior, but at the same time, she's a sweetheart.
Although another really good character, Sakamoto.
So which Sakamoto though? Because remember, there's two famous ones here.
The far more recent one, Sakamoto Days.
Yeah, I know. I'm just giving you a hard time because Sakamoto Desuga, haven't you heard on Sakamoto? That guy was like the epitome of perfection and cool upon many standards. But yes, I can agree. It's kind of like Thor, Thor's from Vinland Saga. These hard ass men that were like just brutal, they meet that one person, and then their whole life changes to family oriented, really soft, only get serious when they have to kind of deal.
And it's kind of predictable, but I kind of love it.
Exactly. Speaking of which, I caught up on it finally. So now we gotta wait for part 2.
Yep. And guess what? The season, according to my anime list, is only 11 episodes.
Yep.
Hey, good evening, Ross. Glad that you went out, had a good dinner. We're talking tonight about our favorite characters and why we like them. Some of the things that draw us to these specific characters. And it's not limited to this season or recent seasons. It's throughout our time of watching anime.
And I'm going to point out before we get sidetracked, John Knight said in the chat that today is National Panda Day.
Oh, look, that ties into what Doug was talking about earlier.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that. Good catch, Darren.
I'm confused.
We made a joke about Red Panda, and I won't say anymore.
That okay.
Which I don't think that you saw. You saw that we were doing the MAL live stream on Friday night, but I figured you weren't going to be able to join us because I think normally Fridays you have stuff going on.
Yep.
And I gave Conception a 1 ranking, the lowest you can give it on MAL.
Oh, God, but why?
0 was not an option.
Okay.
We went through the isekai list. It was 400 and something isekais, and I think I added 100. And mind you, it's like Konosuba season 1, season 2 is separate, season 3 is separate, OVAs are
OVA is separate, movie is separate.
So everything's like split out like that. So adding 100 titles in, knowing that it's probably more along the lines of like 50 to 60 shows.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With all the OVAs, ONAs, and stuff, and multiple seasons of everything. And then when we do it again, I think we said that we're gonna look at other things. I figured Isekai would be the first one to go through. I think Darren said go for Harem next, so it might do that. Next time we.
And also we did racing the other night because it was such a short category.
For racing, I added the Uma Musume stuff and Overtake.
And Ross says, I would have to say one of the respectable characters, kind of like a role model, yet similar to my personality character that he likes, is Tigre Vermund Vorn from Lord Marksman and
Venatus. Tigre from that one. He really is respectable. And the girls in that series are also pretty decent as well.
I'd say probably one of my favorite male characters might have to be Prince Sen from Snow White with the red hair. That's not a show people really talk about much, but I kind of like the way that, as a lord, somebody of that's a noble, the way that he approaches looking at the world and trying to be, a compassionate person made him very much one of my favorite characters from that show. And also a character that I've thought about cosplaying if I had the time and money to get the stuff together.
Anya.
One of my favorite male characters aside from Kumagawa, well, there's actually 2 others I've considered cosplaying as well. The first one being one of my original cosplay ideas, which was, what was his name? Leifon Alcee from Chrome Shelled Regios, much because it was the very first anime that I ever watched that was actually anime. Kind of the quiet kid transferred into a new school that is hiding his power, and then slowly is seen to be quite skillful. All in all, decent character. And then second one would definitely be Izayoi from Problem Children.
And Ross in the chat saying that he has not seen Snow White with the red hair. I did respond back to him, and I think, Ross, that you would enjoy it. There is a romance aspect to it. There are some flip a table moments, but it really is a sweet story. My wife and I both really enjoyed it. So I definitely would say give it a chance with an open mind. I think you would enjoy it. That's one of those shows I think everybody here would enjoy, if I'm being honest. And I know Angela's picky about some of the stuff that she watches, but it is, in my opinion, I think the story is great. The characters are great. I know Angela does like some romance stuff, so I think this would be in your wheelhouse if you went in with an open mind. And yes, we pick on each other a lot about, oh, you should watch this, knowing the other person would absolutely hate it or not fit in their wheelhouse. But this is one I truly think you would enjoy.
Yeah, we totally do that to each other. Trying to think.
All right, what do you think about fun and lovable characters from anime? Maple would have to be on that list.
Maple is most definitely on that list.
Like the fact that she is just like so naive about everything she's doing. She has no idea that she is literally breaking the game.
And the devs
so
don't know
oblivious.
how to deal with her because if they overcorrect,
then the player base will see them as targeting a particular person, and then they lose their reputation. So basically, they keep nerfing her and unintentionally making her stronger to the point they're like, you know what? Screw it. She's our mascot. She's the one that's keeping this game interesting. Just leave her alone.
we're gonna see what she does to this.
And it makes me wonder, are they going to have a third season coming out?
I would love to see it, but if they don't,
I mean, it's a
that's
happy
okay.
end to where it's at now, but
Exactly.
I would not be opposed. It's like Kuma Bear didn't need a season 2, but I loved seeing it. If they continued it, I would not be opposed.
On the same vein, Anya from Spy Family.
Anya, really, like you have two serious characters in Lloyd, New York. Their jobs are serious, an assassin and a spy. And then you have the comic relief with Anya. And the way that the writers brought her into the story and the voice acting work in both the English and the Japanese side has just made her like one of the most lovable characters in anime.
Case in point, the movie got voted as best anime movie.
And part of the movie just talked about poop. Angela's trying to forget that part.
Nope, I'm just going to blatantly disregard it.
Talk about what?
Exactly. And Ross in the chat says, Now, I might be the only one who has seen this anime. Maybe Darren might hate me on this, but I also respect and like Kusanagi Hayato from 100 alongside Claire Harvey.
I did not watch 100. It was on
And
the list, but I never did.
and also speaking of Spy Family, season 3 coming later this year.
I know one of my wife's favorite characters was Sebastian from Black Butler. He is a lot of people's favorite characters. I thought the character was very interesting from what I saw in just like 10 episodes, like 9-10 episodes of the first season. I can understand why everybody, like a lot of girls, fell in love with Sebastian, but I, for personal reasons, I dropped it and might go back, might not. That's all going to depend on, if we get to a slow season where I don't see a lot of stuff that I want to keep up with, or I mean, it did not really pique my interest a ton, so I might not go back to it, but we'll see. And then another character that I enjoyed, I know a lot of people enjoyed her as well, but I think the anime kind of did her dirty, was 02 from Darling in the Franxx. I like the character design. I like the idea behind her. And the reason that I said that I think the anime kind of did her dirty is the ending of Darling in the Franxx felt rushed. And I felt like they just kind of left a bad taste in everybody's mouth. As much as everybody loved 02 as a character, they also hated the way it ended based off of stuff that happened.
The last 2-3 episodes was just like, what the?
Yeah. It felt like they crammed a whole season into 2 episodes. Like they could have done a whole nother season and really made that a very impactful storyline. And I feel like they ruined it. They did the same thing with what are you doing at the end of the world? Are you busy? Will you save us?
Yep.
Ross says, I was okay with 02, but I loved and liked Miku much better in the anime.
Miku was the white hair one, I believe.
I don't remember.
I didn't watch Darling in the Franxx, so I couldn't tell you.
The only 2 that we ever really paid attention to was 02, and then who was the blue-haired one again?
Yeah, that's what I was just looking up.
Those were the only 2 that ever really mattered to me. Ichigo. And ironically,
Miku was red hair with pigtails.
Okay. But it's ironic, really, speaking of Darling in the Franxx, the only reason that Makiine, Too Many Losing Heroines exist is because of Ichigo. The whole series was based off of the author being disappointed that Ichigo lost.
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That Ichigo was a main driving force behind Makiine Too Many Losing Heroines.
And I know we when we did our Anime Corner Awards review, Too Many Losing Heroines got some awards and some nominations and stuff. It was a good series. I did enjoy it. I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it. But like Angela said, it was a show that got recognition but came from out of nowhere because you didn't really hear people talk about it.
I didn't even. I don't think I'd heard of it until
the season was practically over.
Until the awards. I mean, I'm sure we went through it in the preview, and I probably just went, man, not for me, and moved on and forgot about it. and then nothing, and then it's winning awards. Wait, what? What the heck is the show?
And here's what it went up against. It came out in the summer of 2024. So it was up against that season Alia, Wisteria, Dear Friend Nokotan.
Nokotan just got the award for the weirdest anime of the year.
So Ross is saying now he's getting into a character he hates. I can tell you 100% who I passionately hate, and that would be Jonas from Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. Dude was a creep stalker, saboteur, and drunk at the age of 15.
Also came out that season with Too Many Losing Heroines. We talked a lot about VTuber, 2.5 Dimensional Seduction. We talked a lot about, so I don't think I talked a ton about Too Many Losing Heroines. That might have even been a show I picked up partway through the season and then binged a bunch of it.
And then didn't mention it all.
So I think that's what it was. So I didn't talk about it on a weekly basis. I just kind of binged a bunch of it towards either middle or end of the summer season and was like, this actually is really good.
And from the descriptions, it really did fall into the category. Looking at the descriptions afterwards, it really did fall under the, yeah, okay, not for me.
Yeah. And I think we've gotten to know each other well enough that we can pretty much predict, okay, that's an Angela show, that's a Darren show, that's a Doug show. Heck, we even pick out shows for Ross.
And we did, and I think we proved that last week when we did our preview show.
Yeah. I'm still surprised I wrote down so many shows.
I have a laundry list, and I mean, if Darren hadn't mentioned it, I probably would have missed on Sakamoto Days just because I'd forgotten about it. And that one's shaping up to be just fantastic. So
tell me, I take it Sakamoto's your favorite character?
Sakamoto is a very good character. I love the whole ensemble, though. I will say Lou speaks to me on a personal level, though.
I was gonna say I personally do like Lou.
Like she goes from being like super sweetheart to I'm gonna punch you in about 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm. And now, question, not to get too personal, but are you like her when she's drunk?
I have, for the most part, when I get drunk, I just run my mouth and with even less of a filter than I do when I'm sober.
Okay.
Just don't tell her you're from Boston and live in Plymouth.
Very drunk me also threatened to pick a fight with someone 3 times my size, literally.
That is one thing I can say confidently. I highly doubt you'll ever see me drunk.
I have not been very drunk in a long time. Tipsy, sure. But then I just run my mouth and get silly.
Yeah, I have not been drunk in a long time either. I think the last time I got really, really drunk was shortly after my divorce. I think it was my first birthday after the divorce. So 2019. I think that was the last time that I was actually intoxicated, and it was a planned thing. Went out with friends, had a designated driver, and drank quite a bit, but at the same time, I wasn't obnoxious. I was doing karaoke.
Okay, so you were Mr. Jose Cuervo.
I was more of Budweiser and Rumplemans.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
going for the song though.
Yeah.
Okay. Ross, I did not watch Sacrificial Princess. Uh, but he says, I like and respect and rooted for Sophie and Leon Hart from Sacrificial Princess and King of Beast.
When it comes to like the romance anime and the people that you root for, I like Darren. I know has the habit of the childhood friend is always who he gravitates towards.
In a lot of cases, yes. However, there are some where that wasn't the case. For instance, Nisekoi, I was actually on Team Chitsuge, which was the person that came in and kind of disrupted the romance going around.
Um,
Look, even in Shuffle, um, Kaide was technically the best friend, but Atha was also a old friend, and she's the one that ended up winning.
I will say, for a sign of affection, the childhood friend was actually kind of an asshole.
I'm trying to think. Are there shows that I've watched where it's like the main character has multiple choices, and I'm like, oh, you need to go with a certain one, like Amagi Sisters or Amagami Sisters.
Amagami sister. I'm like 2 or 3 episodes behind on that.
I'm caught up. It's gotten a little confusing with the most recent episodes because they kind of went to a like basically childhood friend arc.
Yay! So they're delving onto his actual childhood friend that I actually kind of liked.
And I'm not sure who I pick out of like now it's 4 girls that are considered love interests. Like
And see,
it's tough to know who would be the best fit for him. I know a lot of people think it would be the middle sister, who's the tsundere type, but I'm not sure if she'd be the best fit.
this gets into. There's a whole lot I could say here, but that I'm just gonna leave it as that kind of a thing just does not necessarily interest me. One of the and but
And I find it kind of funny is I know Angela, you enjoy a lot of like the psychological shows, psychological thrillers, things that
yep.
make you think and stuff like that. I've kind of gotten into like an over analyzing some of the shows I watch, whether I've watched it once or multiple times. Like we talked about a few weeks ago with how deep I got into Freerun about,
Oh yeah.
taking a look at things. And like a younger me would never have watched Freerun and thought the way I do now about stuff. And even going back and rewatching some other shows, it's like, eh, why am I in? Why did this show appeal to me so much, and why does it still, and things of that nature? And I try to figure out what about it.
I mean, I've been doing that for decades, but some of that just comes from my degree as English lit, and I spent probably 3 semesters reading and overanalyzing everything.
And I'll be honest, when I first got into anime, I would pick shows that I thought had cute girls or an immature-minded me back in the earlier days. That's why I went to shows like Rosario Vampire, Strike Witches, the ecchi side of things. Oh, look, these are cute girls. You get to see things that's a little off the wall from what you see on American television and things of that nature. But as I've grown and continued for over a decade now of watching anime, I've seen my taste change. I've seen shows that I used to enjoy. I'm like, it's not as good as I remember. I think I think a younger, immature me enjoyed it for a totally different reason than I might look at it now. I think that's just part of the growth as we've continued watching anime and seen it evolve.
Exactly. I mean, up until a certain point, anime for me was not something I chose so much as it was what other people decided to show me. And I'm also very picky about what I like in all media, not just anime. So it makes sense. So once I had access to all the streaming services and could pick and choose, it basically turned into going through what I like in terms of books and movies and live action American television and finding things that kind of fit those genres. And again, same deal. It's stuff I watched in college does not hit the same on a rewatch.
Yeah. I mean,
And
even some of the old movies that we used to watch as kids and stuff like that just does not hit the same.
And some of it is very much certain things just did not age well.
And
but
then
a
you have
lot of
Ghost Stories. That's just a timeless classic. I don't think that's ever going to be bad.
but on the same token, it will always be bad.
Yes.
It's good because it's bad.
I have not watched it, so I can't really speak to that, but
I've only seen clips.
But I will agree.
I have seen it in its entirety. I think what makes Ghost Story so enjoyable is the fact that at the time that it came out, it was cutting edge for what they did. They basically took a show that failed miserably in Japan. Nobody enjoyed it. And completely rewrote the script, changed the characters around a little bit. Like the only thing they kept from the original script was the character names. They changed the story. They changed a lot of stuff. And they let the voice actors have free reign. And the characters and the voice actors in the English side just went crazy with it and really made fun of everyone and everything in a tasteful manner. They made it funny. They made it like a comedy routine, but not somebody who gets up there is just vulgar for the sake of being vulgar. They just an enjoyable.
And I'm
the
gonna
bots
go.
are back.
The bots are back, and while you're taking care of that, I'm gonna go to Ross's commentary. To answer the show's question for the male, his male is Tigray and female is Emliko from Shadow House.
Never heard of that one.
Same. And he says he tries looking for characters that either resonate with his personality or a personality he likes and enjoys. And I actually have to agree with that. I typically tend to dislike the female characters that are too much of the pretty princess types, damsel in distress, like seemingly helpless characters.
You would love the 100 Girlfriend. Because I think the author's goal is to literally showcase every personality of girl out there. Because so far, with the 10 that we have, was it 10 or 11, Doug? 11, right?
For 100 Girlfriends?
Yes.
I'm
including the episode that dropped today.
I think 11.
And so far, every single one of them is distinct. They're not all that similar. And I think that's one of the things I appreciate about them.
Yeah, it's been an interesting show, like I like the fact that every girl that has been introduced in the series has a different quirk or a different thing about them. Like you can't really pin any two girls to be the same, which makes me curious as to how the series is going to go. If they're introducing 100 girls, are they going to have 100 different quirks or personality traits? Because you've got the bookworm, you've got the jock, you've got the pretty girl, you've got the popular girl, you've got the tsundere, you've got the ditzy one, you've got the
You got
nerdy one,
you got the MILF.
you got the MILF, you got the maid. How many more tropes can they introduce?
Too
And
many.
There's like 100 girlfriends would be the Angela hates this show just on the basis of tropes.
Let's be honest, probably.
Because I guarantee episode 1, you'd be like, I don't like it because of this trope.
Mm-hmm.
And as it continues, you'd be like, okay, this trope annoys me, this trope annoys me, this trope
Probably my favorite thing about that show is that it breaks the fourth wall just about every episode.
Yeah.
We've left her speechless.
No, it's more of a this is not a show I've seen. This is not one this is probably not one I'm going to go back and try.
No, I guarantee you would not enjoy it.
But it's one of those. It's one of those. You all enjoy it, so
I don't even. It's one of those shows I watch and I cringe at, but I can't look away because I'm curious as to what happens.
Ross is saying, Doug, show the vice principal of 100 Girlfriends. She'll get a laugh out of the picture.
Did you watch today's episode, Doug?
I did.
I did not notice that regarding the vice principal.
All right, let's move that down. We will share screen just to torment everybody with the vice principal.
Because she is hideous.
What the heck?
And just so you know, when somebody's running in the halls or breaks a rule, she tackles them and gives them a passionate kiss. Tongue down, throat, and everything.
That is no. Just no.
I just love that Hahari was like, should I fire her earlier today?
Yeah. And they're like, and yourself.
Okay, are you all caught up on Receptionist?
Yeah.
I am.
That was something.
Yeah.
More paperwork that they didn't sign up for.
I think Angela is referring to the way that she talked to Jade about go back to how you normally are. I don't like this new you.
The whole thing.
I agree.
Literally the whole thing, the paperwork, the scene with her and Jade, and then at the end what they do to the poor side character.
Yeah. Yeah, you just stay here. What?
Don't leave me by myself.
She's kind of a cute character too, the co-worker at
she hasn't figured out
that her crush is her
best friend.
And she hasn't figured out that her crush is not a guy.
And I have to say the song on that is catchy. It's like Angela has songs that she does not skip. That's one song I usually listen to because it's very catchy. It's corny but catchy. I also, talking about songs. After we went and saw the awards stuff, and Creepy Nuts getting best song for Mashal, I had to go and listen to it. I know my wife had played it for me shortly after it came out. I had to go back and re-listen to it, and it actually is really, really good.
All English dub episode from Ross. All English dub episodes of Tokyo Revengers 3 will be available on the 19th on Hulu and Disney, since it took forever to come out.
That was one series I didn't get into.
Same.
Same.
But still good information to know.
Yeah, because we know we have anime fans of all types that watch us, and we really appreciate everybody out there. If you're tuning in, if this is your first time, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We do this weekly, typically every Sunday. Sometimes we do some bonus stuff throughout the week. Also, if you're listening to us after the point on Spotify or anywhere else, you can find the podcast on podcast platforms. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us talk about random topics every week. And if you want to, come over to YouTube. Like I said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. We love having everybody around. If you want to support us, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Anime Zing Radio. You don't have to donate if you want to, and I know we haven't done much with it in a while. I've got to get better about that, and also give some of the information so that Angela can add stuff to it if she so wishes, and Darren.
You know what? If people actually want to donate, I will figure out a dollar amount that is worth it, and then I will basically, within reason, watch an episode. If you're willing to donate a certain amount of money to our Patreon, I will watch one episode of an anime of your choosing.
Doug, that's your cue.
Within reason, and no, I am not watching Vending Machine.
That wasn't what I meant.
I know. But hey, I like watching new things. I like being.
Well,
and
just so you know, when you come down here, there is one particular show we are watching.
Which one?
I'll keep you guessing.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure you said DxD last time.
Yes.
And that's fine.
I have to say, in return, you pick something, I'll watch it with you.
I don't know. It will probably be something completely random that I happen to think of, because that's the way my brain works.
It could be Psychopaths. I don't care.
I might actually do that, because Psychopaths is one of my favorites.
Exactly, and I'm showing you one of my favorites, so...
And more commentary from the chat. Ross says he did go to see the movie Novocaine yesterday, and it was really good. I don't...
Never heard of it.
Same. Although I feel like I should. I should know about that. And then John Knight's point. John Knight, tomorrow is the birthday for Patrick Seitz, Caitlin Barr, apologies, and Kyle Phillips.
And tomorrow is also Wear Green or Get Pinched Day. And also, alcohol is probably going to be, any place with alcohol is going to be very busy tomorrow.
And I will be on a train to New Jersey.
You're going to need the alcohol.
Yeah, it's Jersey.
I wish I could, but I cannot. So I will probably, when we get to the hotel, just stay at the hotel. Do what I normally do, just stay in the hotel room, sleep half the day, and watch anime on the phone.
No tablet or laptop to watch anime on?
I usually leave the laptop behind. I have enough stuff to carry.
Mm.
I don't have a tablet, so sometimes I'll bring the Switch with me, but usually I could just lie in the bed, watch something on the phone. It doesn't bother me. I can do the subtitles, stuff like that. It's fine with me.
That's one thing I'm honestly considered doing. They got these devices now where you can basically lay in bed and have the stuff projected up onto the ceiling.
Yeah, but you would never be able to watch anything because you'd fall asleep.
I mean, at one point I had an old school projector and had that hooked up to my Xbox, and I used to have that on my ceiling.
You know, it's funny. One of my friends, back in the day, that was their bonus room, in their house. They had a projector mounted in the back of the room, and then they had not a pull down screen, but they had like a screen on the wall. But the screen on the wall was actually just like they shone the projector on it, and once they saw where the projector went out to, they put an actual like picture frame around it to create like a picture frame screen. And then of course they had speakers installed in the ceiling, so it was
And
a very interesting experience.
hello to a simple cheese platter who's joining us on the Twitch stream. Happy to see you in the chat.
Uh, glad you had a good convention. Lovely to see you. And Ross says that he's repeating this because I wasn't around on the Friday short stream, but the English voice actor for Anjimon and Anti-Spiral of Gurren Lagann, Dave Malo, has passed away.
Oh, that's cool. You got a lot of merch of your wife. Cheese platter. I know exactly who you are.
I'm about to say I knew just by the name.
Same. And I'm going to assume by wife it's Asterion from Baldur's Gate. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And she just messaged me on Facebook. And she was asking if I like Spy Family, which yes.
I mean, who doesn't like Spy Family?
The Rejected Squad.
And I'm glad that you had a good time. I did see that you were at a convention today. Hopefully everything went well, and that you were able to hang out with a lot of friends. Hopefully your artist friends and vending friends had a great show as well. So much on. I can say I know the feeling. I get the last few years that I had gone to Kineticon, I spent way too much on autographs. Some of that was through help of Darren. Some of that was through help of good tax return. But we make it to Kineticon this year. I will have to dial back the amount of autographs that I can get. I know of one in particular that I need to get, and that's Brent April's in the Show by Rock art book, because I've got so many other autographs in there. And speaking of Show by Rock, there's a lot of characters in there I like. From season 1, I liked Cyan. I just thought that the character design was cute. She was an adorable character. The music was really good. And then when Masha Myresh came out, I really liked Rihuyu, the drummer. Just the fact that she is so off the wall. Just like she had an adorable charm, and just like I said, she's so off the wall with what she does. She's just such a fun character to watch, and add some good comic relief to the show. And Toilet Bound Hanako-kun. I don't know if I have a favorite character from that. I just watched the latest episode of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, and my wife and I are in agreement that season 2 is so much better than season 1. Ross says his favorite character from Show by Rock was Rosia. I know Angela has not seen it, and I don't think Darren's seen it either.
Nope.
My wife's favorite character from the Show by Rock franchise is Diadaru. But she was a cute character too. I mean, there a lot of characters in that show are adorable. Ross says that he also forgot about Un, the mouse. Un was a good one. You had and Un, who was part of Diadaru. I mean, the whole franchise was good. We want to talk about some of the older school animes. I had mentioned shows that I enjoyed when I first really started getting back into anime. Strike Witches. I always liked Lucchini. Francesca Lucchini was, I think, my favorite character from that franchise. Just because, and I tend to like some of the more off the wall and crazy characters for some of these shows, and she definitely fit into that category.
If you like off the wall and crazy, you need to watch The Future Diary. was such a fun one.
John Knight asking, have I done favorite anime characters on my anime list? I have not.
Oh yeah, that is a thing. I had a couple set up online.
I mean, depending on work schedule this week, I might be able to do a live stream at some point throughout the week about doing some more of the My Anime List stuff. Again, anybody who wants to tune in and chat with us, you're more than welcome to. If we can work it out on a night that Angela might be around, we can have her take on my horrible tastes in anime as well. we spared her the isekai side of things.
You know what?
Yes,
I would have probably had words.
You might have. Speaking of isekai, I will say one of my favorite characters per se for the isekai realm. Well, I already listed Izuyoi, but I would have to give it to Rimuru from Slime. That whole universe is just so well done.
And to be fair, I have not done favorite characters on my anime list either.
So we all know Doug's favorite character from Slime was Miss Naleen.
Yeah. I mean, was there anybody? I don't know if there's a better character.
I do.
And
My
Ross,
favorite showed up in season 3.
I
Ross
didn't get that
says,
far.
I can't remember her name, but her race was a fire mouse, and the anime is Bed and Breakfast for Spirits. I'm not familiar with this anime.
Kakario, that's one that my wife and I had cosplayed. We actually were in the masquerade for Anime Boston cosplaying from this.
And
I'm trying to
honestly,
look up characters.
and did honestly not know that there was a second season for that show. Only found out the other night.
Was it pink haired girl, Ross? I'm trying to remember. There's a Nene who's a pink haired girl. Like it doesn't go into, but she kind of fits some of the other characters that you like in appearance.
There's red and pink.
Red and pink. Let's see here. If I pull this up, and let's see. Was this her, Ross?
Yes, red and pink, says Ross.
So pink hair, red outfit. We'll see if that was the character that he's thinking of. Yes. Okay, there we go. So just off of image alone, I'm like, that looks like she would fit in Ross's wheelhouse, and I guessed correctly. It was a good show. I'm excited that there's a second season. Probably again, I'll have to go back and rewatch the first season to get myself psyched up for season 2 and to remember everything that happened. Again, we watch so much anime, and there's so much stuff out that it's easy to forget what happened in a season 1, especially when a second season comes out multiple years after the first season ended. My only hope is it doesn't have the same, fate as Devil is a Part-Timer, where it took so long for season 2 to come out, and then season 2 just sucked.
That's got to be the biggest letdown.
Like, I had such high expectations, and I could not finish it in Japanese or English. And I attempted both and could not get past like episode 5 or 6. So I gave it a shit shot.
That's saying something that you couldn't finish it in either.
Because I started watching it in Japanese, and I'm like, the story just isn't hitting like the first season did. I'm like, well, I watched the whole first season in English, so let me go back and rewatch it in English and see if it, has a different feel where I knew it from the English dub, and it still just did not feel right. And Ross says, if I quote unquote was to pay for Angela to watch an anime, Kakario Bed and Breakfast for Spirits would be the anime.
All right.
Because this is an Angela show.
You know what? I will say Ross hasn't steered me wrong yet. We're 1 for 1 so far.
And
You know what? Bed and breakfast for spirits. Let's actually look this up on my anime list.
Julia just sent a picture and said, "Oh no, wrong chat."
Sure, wrong chat. Did she delete it?
No.
Then it wasn't the wrong chat.
Oh dear. Go on.
It is an interesting show, Kakariko. But no, like I said, we
You
need
know
to do
what?
Patreon and
You know what? I actually do. This actually does look interesting. I will give you that.
Add it to your ever-growing list, maybe?
It's going on the plan to watch list on my anime list.
So, into the abyss it goes.
You know what? At some point, I'll come on. We'll do a short live where we go through my plan to watch list and look at all the older shows and basically come up with a order in which to watch them.
That could be fun.
And now I've actually got to see if Tomo-chan's on here because that was one. Come on. That is not. Okay, that's going on the list. Because now I have a whole bunch of plan to watch. God, what did you send me?
it was just a photo of our cosplay from Kakariko. So that, and Cheese Platter said that they sent a picture to me of her shrine to an elf man. That's okay. Everybody's got their thing. And we are a judgment-free zone unless we can pick on Angela or Darren.
Or Doug.
Or you.
Or me.
No, us picking on each other is something we do all the time, but in all seriousness, no actual judgment as far as what you like for content because there's something literally for everybody.
And Ross in the chat says, letting Doug and Darren know that Behemoth ended yesterday, or Behemoco, which I believe was Elf Girl's Cat, is an S-rank, secretly an S-rank Behemoth monster, which I did watch the entire thing. The story itself was good. I just felt like they could do, like the story would have been even better without the fan service, and I can't believe I'm saying that, but I felt like you don't need a bathing scene in every episode. Maybe one, I could see two, but not every episode you have to have a bathing scene with every new female character that comes in. I thought that was a little excessive. And my wife started watching that with me for the simple fact of the Dragon Girl is very off the wall, batshit crazy, but dropped it because it turned into an anime where everybody wants to mate with the cat. And it was a little too much. And John Knight says Angela should do a live stream where you can update your My Anime list and start on shonen anime since you are a huge fan of the shonen genre.
Well, the problem with shonen is going through that category would probably take forever.
I was going to say it's going to be easily just as bad as Isekai.
Isekai only had like 400 titles.
You know what? Then let's go.
Shonen says 2,093 titles.
Oh, God.
And it took us an hour. It took us right at an hour to go through that. So that would be 5-6 hour stream to do that whole category. And you can hear a pin drop.
That's why I kind of went to the themes category where stuff was broken down a lot smaller. Although I'm looking at music category because I tend to like a lot of the music animes, and that says 4,888.
Mine says 4,890.
I haven't updated this in a bit, so.
And well, no, I just opened up my anime list and looking at the historical 1661.
What are y'all looking at? I'm sorry.
My anime list search and looking at the genres and themes and studios and all that.
In the themes category.
Okay,
However, seasonal, they only go back to fall of 2019. But we all know that Darren died finding his wife who showed up in the last episode of Bahimiko Arias' mom. Why bring in the mom?
I didn't watch that show, Doug, Ross. So honestly, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know either, but
I know what he's talking about, and again, yeah, the series itself, the story was an interesting story, but I thought they could do without the fan service aspect. I like fan service to a point, but there are some shows that just take it too far.
422 isekai.
Yeah, we went through all of that.
Yep.
I'm surprised that there's 265 racing.
We were too.
Yeah. And then when you realize that like seven of those 200 were Uma Musume Pretty Derby, horse racing.
But wouldn't that go under sports?
No, racing in general is a sport, so it's probably in sports as well.
Okay, 448 under psychological. Now I'm curious.
Mm-hmm. Look, 104 under organized crime.
How?
131 under pets. 75 under childcare.
And I'm actually surprised by how I'm actually looking at psychological right now. And out of the top 6, I've only watched 1.
Now I'm going to have to look. Hey, look, Doug, they even added villainous as a category.
I saw that. 20 villainous animes. Vampire, 176. Video game, 160. Let's
I'm surprised over. That's...
Here you go, Ange. High stakes game.
Yep. Who watched Blue Box and is it worth it? The answer is I did not.
I did not. I've heard
Likewise.
good things about Blue Box, but I have not watched it. So I am sharing the screen so that you all can see what we're talking about here. And maybe maybe we could have some fun since we got about 30 minutes left. And
Wait, and you said of the top 6 for psychological, you've seen how many?
1.
Erased?
Yup.
I've seen all of them except Death Note and Tokyo Ghoul.
Steins Gate is on my plan to watch list. So is Miri Nikki.
you mean I've seen more of the top 6 than you have?
Mm-hmm. Now, granted, you also got to remember these are based off of fan, not by how heavy they actually are into that thing.
If you go down
I'm about to say Promised Neverland I've seen, Death Parade I've seen, Elfen Lied, Kakegurui, Classroom of the Elite, Madoka. I've seen all of those.
No, I have not.
Terror and Resonance
Evangelion
was a really good one.
Evangelion, Psychopaths,
Mori Zero, Danganronpa.
Danganronpa. I've not seen Classroom of the Elite. I've not seen Madoka, though it should be on my list. More Evangelion, ReZero, more Tokyo Ghoul,
Beastars, Banana Fish, Serial Experiments Lane.
That's a classic. I loved that. Fooly Cooly, I tried. Fooly Cooly, I tried. I didn't like.
Oh, that's the OVA.
Welcome to the NHK.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did see that whole thing.
Wonder Egg Priority.
Wonder Egg, I saw. Wonder Egg, I loved. Berserk, Angels of Death, Psychopath Season 2, Ergo Proxy is on my list. Or it's on.
Shiki. Grisatia is on there. I love Grisatia.
Ghost in the Shell, I saw the live action movie and actually really liked it.
Is that Eden of the East, I believe?
Yes, it is. I have not seen that. All the Evangelion movies I've seen.
Kakegurui.
Paprika, I know of.
I've even been able to add a few more shows to my list.
Moriarty the Patriot, I loved that. That one was so good.
Okay, Ross has me intrigued. He says 54 Medical.
Yep, I saw that.
Same. But
Happy Sugar Life.
Platinum End. More Berserk.
More ReZero.
Okay, Ross, for you, I know you like your pharmaceutical animes.
Ooh, Chaos Head.
And right off the bat, for pharmaceutical, you have Snow White with the red hair.
I'm legit surprised by how little of this I've seen.
Mm-hmm. And that's only numbers 1 through 100. You have 300 something more.
And I'm also not surprised by how many of these are like movies and seasons and all the things.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, Doug, look at this. 2000 school anime.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go to medical. Are you on medical? Yes,
I'm on medical right now.
Oh my.
All right.
So,
I need to go back there.
So first one it's showing is Snow White with the red hair. Second one, I think is Cells at Work.
Cells at Work.
I have not watched.
I watched season 1.
Well, there is no
Diary.
Oh, wait, there
I
was
gave a 9 to.
I forgot.
Apothecary Diaries.
I've only given out 110. And that was to Realist Hero.
Okay, looking at this.
Cells at
Apothecary
Work,
Diaries, Cells at Work.
Cells at Work, Code Black.
Didn't see that.
I gave 8 to Parallel Pharmacy.
Monster Girl Doctor.
Ameku Takako, which I'm watching, and that's actually really good. Gene of AI I watched, and that one was a WTF. Seriously, that was a what in the heck did I just watch?
Saint's Magic Powers is Omnipotent is right here. I've added that one. Isekai or Drugstore in Another World.
There's so much blackjack.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple of Cells at Work things I missed.
Mysterious Disease Specialist, no.
There's a lot of Cells at Work, a lot of blackjack, a lot of
Wow, there is a lot of blackjack. Holy crap.
Yeah.
And this stuff's from the early 2000s, too.
Blackjack, the movie, 1996.
OVA, 1993.
We have a Mao Mao ONA, 24 episodes.
Wait,
Man.
where do you see that?
It said aired October 23rd, 2023 to March 25th, 2024. It says it's an ONA, Mao Mao no Higatori Goto.
Oh, it's a YouTube thing. It's basically a YouTube thing.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta figure out this theme here.
I went from favorite characters to a little bit more updating on the MAL list, which I got a few in there off of the drugstore.
Mm-hmm. Most of mine are toward the top, mostly Cells at Work.
I had, not Cells at Work, but
Apothecary Diaries.
Apothecary Diaries, Snow 8 with the red hair, and then a couple of the Isekai ones, and also Monster Musume.
And going back to the themes, we have a couple with that are surprising. Cross-dressing has 58 entries. Let's see. Medical has 50. Showbiz has 50. Villainous has 20. Organized crime 104.
Survival 75.
Yeah. Reverse harem 77.
Love Polygon 107.
Music 4,890.
Yeah, I think I would have an easier time with the idols at 349 than the music.
There's also a male idols.
Male idols is 181.
181. Yep. And then we have Magical Sex Shift.
Oh my god.
It's one or more main characters in these stories identify as their biological sex, but their body is suddenly changed to the opposite sex through magical means.
All right, let's take a look at that one.
It may be temporary, irreversible, or they can switch it at will. Trading bodies is body swap. Dying or being killed is reincarnation.
Gonna be the Twin Tail is, I think, the only show on there that I've watched. But we're gonna go through it.
To Love
Oh, wait.
Rue did it.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The
Wise
one
Man.
I didn't like. Yep, Wise Man.
Yeah, the
I
pupil of the
I
Wise Man.
I started Ayakashi Triangle, but that was one of the ones that was delayed due to production issues, and I never went back.
See a lot of older shows, 1991, 92.
And how much of this is Ron Mahaf?
That's number 2 on the list.
Well, there's actually, I've seen about 6 or 7 different Ranma half stuff.
That's my point.
Is anyone watching the new Ranma that they redid?
No. I've heard it's
I
good.
still need to watch the original.
I've seen parts of the original, but I couldn't tell you anything about it because it was during a low point in life for me. And my friend used that as a distraction.
So I added 2 out of that.
Just looking at the genre list, a lot of sci-fi.
Yeah. School.
Oh, dear Lord.
Mm-hmm. Martial arts is 679. Historical's almost 1,700.
And 1,300 mecha.
Gag humor, 264. Team sports, 320.
Okay.
Combat sports.
How is
93.
One Piece Red a female idol movie? How?
Wasn't there some sort of show going on?
At some point, I will get to season 2 of Zombieland Saga. Love Live School Idol movie. No, I don't think I saw that. White Album, I've never heard of.
Oh, White Album?
Yeah.
White Album is White Album and White Album 2 are fairly famous in the romance, or have very famous scenes regards to romance.
Ross says Ongaku Shoujo should be on this list.
Idly Pride, no. AKB 0048, that's already on there.
What? Which one are you under?
School or Idols Girls.
Idols Girls. All right, and then later there's one in this list when we go back to it that I'm trying to figure out what it stands for.
Oh, I know the one you mean.
Looking through.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it looks like comedy of some kind.
Which one?
The CGDCT.
Mm-hmm. I have no idea what that means.
Neither do I.
But the fact that Kaon and Bochi are near the top. Gabriel Dropout, New Game, Non Biori.
How Heavy Are the Dumbbells? Killing Slimes for 300 Years as
Which category are you guys in?
CG CGDCT.
Let me scroll up and join you over there.
Maybe these are all girls anime? Because I don't really recall men being in any of these.
New game completed. Actually, I should probably,
Yeah, pretty much all of these have a female main cast, and I don't think there's any male main cast in any of these.
How heavy are the dumbbells you lift? You have the trainer.
Machio, yes,
Machio.
but he's more of a supporting than a main, I would think.
Yeah, I call him Buff Skune because he looks like Skune from Rosario Vampire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Girls in Panzer, that's all female cast.
Is the Order of Rabbit all female?
RPG Real Estate?
All female.
Yuri, it's in the title. Oni-chan wa Oshimai, I watched that one. It was slightly disturbing, but it wasn't the worst thing I've seen. Joshi Kosei, I need to watch because I heard that was a gag anime.
As Manga Dio, I finished.
Kohana Katan. That's fine.
Mitsuboshi Colors, I keep seeing that one scene out of it and I can't get it out of my head. It's where the three girls are aiming a grenade launcher or a rocket launcher.
Real estate. I didn't see that yet. Or is that down farther?
That's down pretty. It's down pretty far, and
Okay.
it looks like the only thing I've seen on this list is As Manga Dio.
Let's see. Laid Back Camp, haven't watched, but I know of.
Do It Yourself. That was one that I thought about watching. I've heard some interesting stuff about that one. I've heard that was actually pretty good.
Gabriel Dropout was fun. Raycon, I forgot about that one. That one was fun. Well, interesting if nothing else. More
Growing Girls, I watched that. That one was okay. I give it a 5.
Yeah, no. The only thing on this list that I have, or on the first 100 that I've watched, is As Manga Dio.
I've done a couple. I've done Is the Order of Rabbit, Gabriel Dropout.
And then I'm gonna skip
Raycon.
ahead to the next 100.
Looks like a lot of OVAs.
Yep.
Sabagebu.
Second season, plan to watch. Since that has not come out yet.
Yep, this is a whole lot of. I've never heard of half of this stuff, at least.
After School Dice Club was actually pretty good.
Bakuan. Oh, wow.
Wait, where do you see that?
Down toward the bottom. It's the girl in the swimsuit or bikini. Well,
Yeah, no, I've never heard of most of this.
You know what? I'm kind of surprised. I'm going through this list that I have not seen on this, where it seems like it's an all-female cast. I haven't seen Strike Witches yet.
It's on the last page.
It's on the last page.
Mm-hmm.
If we're looking at all girls, I'm surprised Sport Climb Girl isn't on here either. But skipping ahead to the last page.
There's a Strike Witches. Scrolling through, looking at the stuff here. World Witches, that was actually a pretty good one too. I think all that gets a 7.
Yeah, out of this entire 262, I've seen 1.
That doesn't surprise me because the genre does not seem like it would be one that would be in your wheelhouse.
As Manga Dio was a lot of fun. Although I'm not sure I could watch it today and still enjoy it.
I've seen clips from it.
We turned it into a drinking game for my friend's 21st birthday. But, that's...
So that's that. Fruit Tart and Healer Girl is good, Ross says. He also liked Kozumi from Love's Ramen Noodles. So Ross has seen a few shows from that category, the CD or CGDCT.com, whatever. Bunch of letters thrown together. But yeah, so there's some interesting stuff there. Gonna hop off of there for now. We got about 10 minutes left of the show. Curious as to if you guys are caught up on the shows you're watching this season and what you've thought of some of them thus far.
Oh, I got a question, Doug.
Yeah.
What's your? I'm partway through catching up. I think I was on episode 5 or 6. I forget. But what is your opinion on Medaka this season?
On which show?
Medaka Kuriowa's Impervious to My Charms. Because you said you started watching it.
Oh yeah. I picked that up. I kind of like it. I find it kind of funny how he's trying to, stay true to his training, wanting to become a monk and has to, keep with pure thoughts. And he sits there, he pinches his head to try to get like the impure thoughts out of his head. He's got this girl throwing herself at him.
Yep, all because he was the oddball and didn't give her the attention she was used to getting, and it drove her crazy.
Yeah. I'm actually caught up on that one. I did binge that to catch up, so I'll be curious to see what happens. I like how like 2 other girls have come into the mix as well. one as a rival and one as her best friend who's trying to egg her on. Not to give anything away, but
And also, what's your opinion? Has your opinion changed any on Girl I Hate?
Girl, I've really enjoyed this show. Like the main female character that he gets forced to marry to, she's an adorable character. I just like, as I said Friday night after I had watched it, I just wish she would admit her feelings, like going up to her feelings. It's clear that she likes him. It's clear she cares about him. She just cannot admit it to herself, and that is annoying.
Well, then I don't think you can make it through Kaguya, considering that's exactly what the whole show was about. Neither could admit to the other, and Kaguya was brilliant.
I do like the fact that her best friend, uh, working her way into the mix, is kind of pushing her a little bit to like realize her feelings. But I'm hoping that she eventually realizes that she truly has feelings for him, and she just admits it. It might be just a build up to like a really sweet or really cool reveal, and that's what I'm hoping for. But if she stays in the frame of mind of, oh, I hate him, no, you have it all wrong, where it's clear that you like the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Ross in the chat says he's all caught up. Would have to say favorite is either appraisal skill, My Happy Marriage, or Crush at Work. Fruit skill is okay. And if Angela has seen the latest episode of My Happy Marriage, it was a sweet heartbreak. She got to talk to her mom.
Yep, I'm caught up with My Happy Marriage.
I am behind. It did not keep me intrigued. I think my wife's caught up. I'm behind. Like I said, it's on Netflix, and I usually don't watch much Netflix when I'm not home. So now switching subjects here into Angela's world for a bit. Any new stuff going on in the world of DX and the world of D&D? Or
I was about to say, you almost said DXD.
I almost said DXD.
I have been playing a lot of D&D. But that's about it. I haven't done anything new. Just same old.
Are you on a new campaign, or how long has the current campaign been going?
Basically everything's been ongoing for some cases years.
Dang.
I have one campaign. We play every fourth Sunday, and we are 2 or 3 sessions away from new campaign time. But this campaign's been going on for years.
Even though I'm not overly familiar with D&D, because every D&D I was invited to by my friends, they keep doing them on Saturdays when I'm at work. Because they work 9 to 5 throughout the week. I'm like the oddball. So
Yep.
I've maybe attended one session. And by that point, it was already too late for me to really join in, because I would have been starting at level 1 while they were at like level 4 at the time, and it wouldn't have made sense.
Yep.
And unfortunately, that group has about fallen apart due to the fact of work and adult life.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens, and that's why one of my groups plays every fourth Sunday, because that is when everybody's free.
Are you still doing the Monday night or every other Monday night stuff?
That one is on hiatus due to GM's mental health.
Understandable.
Exactly. GM basically went into burnout mode because she was running too many live streamed campaigns. So ours went on hiatus so that the one that only had like 3 sessions left could finish. Because ours has a lot more left to go.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So when that comes back up, I'll mention it.
Now, how many campaigns are you a part of? Is it 2 in a week, sometimes 3, or?
Currently, I have one group that meets every Thursday. I have and my Monday night one's on hiatus, and then I have one that's every 4th Sunday.
Okay. And then whatever pops up at conventions that you go to, or
conventions, or like I'm in a Discord where there's a very sporadic, hey, let's when are people free to play this game? And it's a one shot.
now, do you like the one shots better, or do you like the long?
It depends. One shots are a lot of fun
Because you can create Maple.
Because I created Maple. Maple in a battle royale died to thunder damage.
That's still one of my favorite stories of yours.
She is not, because Maple is not immune to thunder.
And if we can get Megan Shipman back on the show again, I want you to tell her that story.
I happily will. I mean, that was a battle royale one shot free for all, and it was on Roll20, an online virtual tabletop, and so my icon, I had a picture of Maple in the red armor. And not everybody recognized the picture, but the one person who did just had a very visible reaction. And everybody else is like, what? You'll see.
Yep.
Because I couldn't do damage. I could hardly do damage. I did not do a lot of damage. My whole shtick was I survived.
Yeah.
And when I did the math the next morning, I healed myself a total of more than 3 times my total hit points.
And on that note, we are out of time, but not to fret. There'll be more Anime Zing Radio next week with Angela and Darren. I unfortunately will not be around because I am on a train that will be scheduled to leave next Sunday afternoon at some point. So I will be heading to New Jersey. Like I said, I will be my train trips are Monday, Thursday, and Sunday this week. So unfortunately, I will not be around for next Sunday's show. But I can guarantee Angela and Darren will take the helm and drive this thing off the rails as they normally do.
Or we just play go through. We spend the entire 2 hours going through shonen and poking fun at my bad taste in anime.
Mm-hmm. Don't even look at it, Doug.
I already pulled it up. Don't do it, Darren.
I mean, it might take the whole 2 hours if we even get that far.
Darren sent me a picture of another Ford pickup truck, and it's like, don't do it, Darren. You don't need another truck.
That would be a swap. Thank you, because that one would be a swap. There's no questions.
And a quick little sports note before we go, I want to congratulate Josh Berry on getting his first career NASCAR Winston Cup. God, how long have I been watching that NASCAR Cup Series win at Las Vegas tonight, getting the Wood Brothers, famed number 21, their 101st career win in the Cup Series. So very happy about that. I've been a fan of Josh Berry for a couple of years and excited to see him finally in Victory Lane. So I had to throw a shout out there. But on that, like I said, have a wonderful night, everybody. We'll be back again next weekend here for more Anime Zing Radio on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Until then, stay safe, enjoy the anime, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye, everybody.